The next question is from Svetlana. Valery Viktorovich, what would be a comment on Putin's announcement of Yalta 2? The war has not been finished yet. The winner is unknown. The loser is unknown. Borders are unclear. It would be similar to announcing Yalta 1 in 1940.
That is not correct. Certainly, Yalta Conference 1 took place in 1945, when it was clear already who won and who lost. The same situation today. To everybody who deals with governance of complex social supersystems at the state level and above, it is absolutely clear what subject is what.
Прошу прощения, в 45-м. Война еще не закончилась. Вот, в 43-м Тегеран, в 45-м Ялтинская конференция. А я в каком сказал? В 44-м, извините. Вот. Война...
The war has not finished yet, but a conference is taking place.
Так вот, откуда 44-й год?
Putin's statement about holding the Yalta Conference, figuratively speaking, it is New Yalta, is parallel to Stalin's statement in 1944 about the necessity of holding the Yalta Conference. The statement is made just in time to ripen the idea to decide who will bring what to that conference, what propositions will be made, who will join which unions, because all participants, one way or another, will have to conduct a set of negotiations between each other prior to the conference itself, where the issue of future rebuilding of the world will be discussed. Such negotiations will now take place. Well, it is already obvious to everyone that China is becoming the center of governance concentration. There is no way around it. Iran, under any circumstances, absolutely any circumstances, also is becoming the center of governance concentration. It is also obvious for everyone, especially for Israel. Many things become clear because the final Holocaust and purge of Israel were planned to be carried out through Iran, keeping in mind what kind of conferences were taking place there. Look what kind of processes began in the United States. The United States begins to assemble within itself, otherwise it will collapse, crumble, and Mad Max will look like a fairy tale in comparison with dark reality. It is becoming obvious in principle. The global elite is not interested in this conference for one simple reason. They see it all. But what would be a motivation for them? Macron was one of the first who supported Putin. Why? Because the rebuilding of the world according to the Russian plan is saving its cultural identity, is saving France as a state, a nation, a culture. Germany is in the same boat, but the voice of Europe right now is France. Great Britain bleeds into China. Negotiations regarding future world order are unacceptable for the global elite right now. Because this is the weakest point in time for them to dictate their willpower to the world. Global elite intentions is to destroy Western Europe, create European Islamic Caliphate, create new nations, languages, and states. Global elite doesn't want to hold this conference right now. Their plans are disrupted because Russia still exists. But they have no choice. There is no choice. Russia has become a global actor. Russia has returned to global politics. Regardless of her future form, either USSR 2.0 or Russia forever, but all global actors have to make up their minds about rules of the political game in the world. Russia's place in it and other political actors' interrelations with Russia. This reality must be somehow formalized. Attempts to push Russia aside from global politics. Do you remember how Putin was boycotted in Australia? And what do we witness now? Here's the dilemma that the global elite faces. If they refuse Putin's offer, then Putin is free of any obligations and he can rebuild the world on Russia's terms. It means, I repeat, that Europe, in order to save its cultural identity, its statehood, will become a subject of Russian Federation. Let it sink for a moment. A subject of Russian Federation, France, French Republic. Subjects of Russian Federation, Germany, Italy. And there is no other option that will be open for the global elite. If they don't negotiate future world order now. Some would say Russia shouldn't even negotiate with the global elite, but blood is thicker than water. People, ordinary people, would suffer. We must decide, politics for people or people for politics. Putin's position is politics for people, and accordingly there is a task of decreasing the measure of bloodiness of upcoming events, the measure of catastrophic convulsions. Putin understands that all processes are evolutionary in nature, and accordingly he is offering, let's negotiate, let's place on record the current result, let's decide how we will move forward, and let's work normally, in dialogue mode. If Russia would choose another route and say, we won't negotiate with the global elite, Russia is a subject of governance and Russia shall push forward its will, then mayhem and bloodshed will happen in Europe, because an attempt of establishing the European Islamic Caliphate will happen one way or another, and it must be stopped by any means. The measure of bloodshed will be much greater if European state institutions don't get outside support. If European state institutions do get outside support, then the measure of bloodshed will be much smaller, which means that rebuilding can be done. But should an attempt of establishing the Islamic Caliphate in Europe be successful or not? From the Russian point of view, the attempt must be unsuccessful. The newly arrived population has no right to dictate rules of living to the local population, but the local population should have an opportunity and power to protect its right to live according to their rules in their own home. According to that, Russia will provide such help to traditional states anyway, because those newcomers who came to destroy states, they're outlaws. This is international terrorism, which everybody is fighting against. Thus, Putin made the statement at the most perfect moment. I repeat, it is like suggesting a conference in Yalta in 1944 to make it a reality in 1945.